compliance. U.S. Ambassador to Israel Mike Huckabee says Washington respects Israel's right to defend itself and determine its own policies, but is deeply concerned about the humanitarian crisis in Gaza. Speaking to Reuters in Jerusalem, Huckabee said the following.
Moment, the position of the president has been that he respects that Israel has a right to defend itself. It has a right to determine how it does that. Certainly we're a partner with Israel. We care very much about the way things go forward, but it's never been the role of the U.S. to dictate Israel's policy any more than it would be the policy of Israel to dictate.
His remarks came as Israel's Security Cabinet approved plans to take control of Gaza City. Meanwhile, owing to this development, Belgium has summoned Israel's ambassador, expressing what it calls total disapproval of the decision and of continued settlement expansion. Now for this discussion, we are joined by Mati Zweig. He's a geopolitical expert, joins us live from Israel. Thank you, Mati, for joining us today. Good to see you. Now, given the U.S.'s position respecting Israel's right to defend itself while also expressing concerns over the humanitarian crisis in Gaza, how do you see the balance from U.S. between support for Israel's security and addressing the growing humanitarian crisis?
Well, thank you for having me again. I think this is a process that is continuing every day at the same level. I mean, from the one side, Hamas has repeatedly opposed to any kind of agreement to release the hostages and put an end on this war. From the other side, they are giving all the arguments to the extremists inside the Israeli government that say if they don't want to do anything of these things, that let's control all the Gaza Strip, even if it's going, we have to deepen our attacks, if we have to go all through the Gaza Strip and take over all of it, and then we will take over and we will take control completely. And the question and what divides the Israeli public inside Israel is that what are the goals? Because you can send the military to take over all of Gaza, and of course are going to be more casualties and more soldiers falling, which is really, really a disaster for us. Anyway, you can do it militarily, but the question is, what is tomorrow? Civil administration over all the population, as in Judea and Samaria, trying to get by force all the hostages outside, which probably will take at least the life of most of the hostages that they are now kept alive. This is the big issue that is dividing the Israeli society between the people that understand what is going on now and what can be if they are really going to take over the control over Gaza. Huckabee said they will back up Israeli efforts because they understood that Hamas, doesn't matter what you offer them, they're always going to say no because they don't want to lose their strength and the possibility of being the power in Gaza. They don't understand that this game is over. It's over for everybody. It's over also even for the powers that say you have to take care of all the food and the deployment there, and to go to all the perimeter around Gaza. They even understand that this is not going to happen now because Hamas continue to refuse, and having yet, I suppose, directions from Iran and maybe from their friends in Qatar that they say, don't give up, we are going to help you. And that's what is going on. Every time they listen from Europeans that they want to give a Palestinian state, they say, oh, we got a prize here. We don't have to feed the hostages. We just have to continue in our line. And this is a deadlock, and this is going to lead to a complete control of Israeli all over Gaza and more suffering for both sides. That's what's happening. Now, with the help or not with the help from the world.
And Maddie, now, do you think this tension could lead to a shift in U.S.'s policy towards Israel, especially in regard to future military actions?
Well, we are seeing that a big amount of pressure is going on Israel, but and not only on the diplomatic level and not only on the military level. Countries that they are refusing to have cooperation militarily with Israel, cultural cooperation, academic cooperation. This is a disaster for Israel, and now we are in a position that we don't have any alternative. I mean, or to take control over or to get an agreement. Agreement is not coming. People in Israel is half and half suspicious that even the Israeli government doesn't want really to finish this because this is going to make them say to the people, look, they don't want, we have to control all over Gaza. And then the extremists say, okay, if we are going to control Gaza, let's also control all the civil administration and maybe even do new settlements. This is not going to happen, but they are talking about that. And all the world is saying, look, you have a lot of extremists. Look what is going on. And they don't look what's happening with Hamas. Until really it will be a big pressure from all the world, including Europe, including the United States, against Hamas, this is not going to change. In the same way that the world understood, and even in the 12 days war with Iran, they said Iran don't have the right to have nuclear capabilities because it's not a regime that you can trust, not only against Israel, against Europe or the world. The same way you cannot trust Hamas to stay in power in Gaza. This game is over. And instead of saying we have a plan, they have to go out from Gaza. They have to put a multinational force, maybe the Emirates, with Oman, with Saudi Arabia, with the Americans, someone responsible to take over Gaza, and even with moderate elements from the Palestinian Authority, maybe not now, maybe in the future. But nobody's really talking about that, and this is just make this situation continue and continue with no clear end and with a very bad outcome for both sides.
Thank you, Maddie, for sharing that. Please stay with us as we come back to you for our next discussion.